Nahash, Steelshod. After they've returned, Alexander is approached by a pair of Tarathian knights. Not Serpentes, but traditional nobility from one of the many surrounding Tarathian kingdoms. The younger knight introduces himself as Sir Avram Wrigley, the older, his mentor, a gruff man named Reuben Stafford. Avram asks Alexander if the rumors are true. A Ruskan army has invaded from the north, conquering the northern kingdoms, and bound for Nahash. Alexander confirms it, but tries to reassure the lad that the Ruskan army may not commit to battle against them. Sir Avram seems distraught and unmoved by Alexander's reassurance. He explains that he and Sir Reuben hail from Acton, the northern kingdom that has served as a bulwark against Ruskan incursions in the past. Alexander apologizes. He confirms that, as far as he knows, Acton has indeed been conquered. Sir Avram appreciates Alexander's candor and comments that it has been an honor serving alongside Steelshod. He puts on a stiff upper lip and returns to duty. Shortly after Alexander's return to Nahash, the army of Bearsarks arrives. They set up camp east of Nahash. The Ruskan army arrives on its heels, staking out its camp to the northeast. Most of Terbjonson's army still camps to the south, though he has large contingents of men stationed all throughout the inner circle and along the walls. These posts are growing increasingly unpopular, however, as, on a nightly basis, men turn up dead. Eye gouged out, throat slit, messages from the Black Wizard left behind. Eyewitness sightings continue as well. The Black Wizard's ghost is active nearly every night. Leon recovers from the injuries he suffered at Gjol's hands, and Kara recovers from the leg injury Olaf inflicted. Alexander and Joran speak with Olaf again as well. The old Svard's burns are healing well. The scars are ugly, but he wasn't exactly a looker before the dragonfire. He looks Joran up and down and laughs. "You two make quite the pair," he mutters. "Big, scary leader, inspires his men to great heights, a strategist and a warrior," Olaf says, looking at Alexander. He glances to Joran. "Smaller, older, right hand. Just as deadly, but doesn't look half as impressive. You figure you might as well complete the look, Joran One-Eye." "Something like that," Joran says. "Though at the moment your people seem to think I'm dead, and my ghost is plaguing them." Olaf laughs. "My people are not all so foolish as that, but I'm sure you've terrified many of them." "Olaf," Alexander says, "you know this war of ours is pointless." "Not pointless," says Olaf. "Ragnar has his reasons." "Wasteful, then," Alexander says. Olaf nods. "It is that. You wish for it to end the same as we do?" One-Eye nods again. "If I could, I would take every one of my kin back home, or strike out away from here, somewhere, and find a new home." "You can," Alexander says. "If we release you, you could go. Return to the camps, gather whatever men you can, and go." Olaf sighs. He is silent for some time. "No," he says finally. "No?" Alexander can't hide his disappointment. "Can I ask why?" Olaf looks to Alexander and Joran, back and forth between them. To Joran, he says, "You, One-Eye." "Yes?" "You follow him, to death if need be." "Of course," Joran says instantly. "You owe him much, yeah?" Joran nods. "My life. More than that, really. My salvation." "Have you ever had this devotion tested? Has he ever started to walk a path you feared to follow?" Joran almost denies this, but he pauses. He recalls when Alexander learned that Elena was being tortured by Hakon, the brutal murder of the priest, killing him in fire, in a way considered blasphemy to the Vlari faith, and some of the other decisions he made during that time. Nothing evil, nothing that even comes close to what Terbjonsson has done, but it was still a dark time. A harder Alexander, when he thought he had perhaps lost Elena. "Perhaps," he says, reluctant to grant even that concession. He adds, "A little." "Did you turn against him?" "Of course not." "Yeah. What if it had gotten worse? Much worse?" Yoren considers this. It's a hard question. Uncomfortable. I don't know, he finally admits. Olaf just nods. Yeah, you do not know. Yoren looks at Olaf in a new light as he mulls these words over. Alexander breaks the silence. So, you will not go? No, Olaf says. I will not abandon Ragnar. I will counsel him, tell him the truth, when others hide from it, or lick his boot. And you will help him, says Alexander. I will do as he asks, if that means killing your people, burning the city down. Yeah, whatever he requires. Even when you know it is wrong? Olaf nods. Wrong does not enter into this, Ruskin. I follow Ragnar. I will help him however he can. If I can help him from himself, that is good. But if not, I will not betray him. Not ever. Alexander understands, but he doesn't like it, and he can't, in good conscience, release Olaf. The One-Eye is a brutal warrior and a skilled commander, and his loss is a blow to the Svartic forces. If they can't turn him to their side, they'll have to keep him imprisoned. The Ruskan army sets up its camps, but it does not engage Nahash, nor do they appear to communicate much with the Svards, beyond a messenger or two within the first few days of arriving. It appears, for the moment, that Alexander's plea has had some effect. Bayard Sokolov is positioning himself as an opportunist, and he does not intend on rushing into battle alongside the Svards. A week passes in relative stalemate, with the Svards probing into the middle circle and Yoren's team striking out on his behalf every night. Cyril makes contact with Brother Torthian and, through him, reports that Bjornsson is growing restless. He's pushing the Ruskins to commit, but they decline. So, his war councils have begun planning how best to take the inner circle without them, or how to egg them on to action. Meanwhile, inside Nahash, rationing is keeping people alive. But there is a real and growing concern inside the inner circle that, if Bjornsson is simply patient, he will begin starving them out. The Svartic army is receiving a steady influx of resupply from Kassala, some wagons by road, and some barges poled up the Tyre River. Plus, his reavers continue to pillage the surrounding countryside at will, and nearly all of the Tarathian military power concentrated inside Nahash. So, Alexander, Enoch, and Varley begin hatching a plan. They are running low on supplies, while the Svartic army has a stockpile of them. The solution is simple, in theory, if not in execution. Svards aren't the only ones that can raid and pillage after all. Thank you for tuning in to Steelshod, a series by Mostly Rights, narrated by Tailforge. You can find every chapter in text format, as well as character sheets, setting information, maps, and rule documents on the Steelshod tabletop system in the link below. If you'd like to support the channel, you can pop down to the description and use the Patreon link for recurring donations, the PayPal.me link for one-time donations, the Teespring link for shirts with the incredibly cool background art by Nobody, or use the DriveThruRPG affiliate link the next time you're looking to try a new system. If you'd like to support the author, you can find Steelshod merch on the MostlyRights.com store, or donate to the Mostly Rights Patreon, which are both linked on reddit.com/r/mostlyrights down below.